This is homework for Friday the 13th. Okay, so here we have the problem of an airplane is at an elevation of 10,000 feet. The table shows its elevation for miles. So as I look at this table and analyze it, I'm realizing that the plane is actually going down in elevation, which means it's probably coming to its location or its end location, and it's going to be landing. So it's going down. So the very first thing I do with my table is put in my carets. I hope you did the same. So I'm going to put in my Y carets, and it looks like it's going down by 1,000 each time. And then my X caret, they're going up by 2. Okay, so I know right away with my carets I have to divide them to find my slope. So negative 1,000 divided by 2 gives me negative 500, which means my slope is going to be negative. And let's see how the graph looks with that. So on my graph I have my labels, elevation on the y-axis, miles on the x-axis. I counted on the x-axis by ones technically, but I numbered by twos to make it roomy. And on the y-axis I technically counted by thousands, but I numbered by 2,000s. And I graphed all my points and put in my line of best fit, and I can see that my graph is going down, which shows my negative slope of 500. Okay, so on to writing the equation. Again, I found my slope when I did my y carets divided by my x carets and got negative 500. So that's going to go in my M spot. Now they want us to use M and E, so I need to look. Okay, M is the same as the X, and E is the same as the Y. So E goes first, E equals, and then my slope of negative 500, and then instead of X, I'm going to put M. Now I need to find my Y-intercept. In my table, I know I need to work backwards to find that. So if on the x-axis, or on the x side, it's counting up by 2's every time, in order to get to 0, I have to go backwards by subtracting 2. Now on the y, it's subtracting 1,000 each time, so if I worked backwards, I would be adding 1,000, which gives me a y-intercept. I'm sorry, I'm running out of room here. A y-intercept of 11,000. So I'm going to add that to my equation. Sorry, you don't need to have commas in your equation. So my equation is E equals negative 500m plus 11,000. Okay, what is the slope of your equation? My slope was negative 500. Now, what does the slope mean in terms of the plane landing? Well, I know that it means per something, and in this case it's per mile. So the plane is doing something per mile. If I look here, it's going down. So the plane is going down 500 feet in elevation per mile. The plane, I'm going to say, is dropping 500 feet per, keyword per mile. Okay, what is your y-intercept? Our y-intercept we found was 11,000. So that means its starting point was 11,000. So at 0 miles, the plane started at 11,000 feet. Obviously, that's after it took off and went up into the air. Okay, now we're going to use our equation to solve some problems. I'm going to write my equation up top so I can remember. Negative 500m plus 11,000. Okay, so this first problem, use the equation to show what elevation the plane would be after 30 miles. So I have to solve for elevation, which is E, and they gave me miles, which is M. So I'm going to insert 30 miles for M. So I simply take it out and insert 30 and continue my equation. Now this is a simple one-step equation where I just have to do the math right across the board. So I go E equals negative 500 times 30 is negative 1,500 plus 11,000. I'm going to make this smaller. Now I do negative 1,500 plus 11,000, and I get E equals negative 4,000 feet. Now I know it's not possible to have negative 4,000 feet, which means that the plane has obviously landed before 30 miles was over. That's kind of a short plane ride. Okay, next one. Use the equation to show how many miles it will take before the plane is at an elevation of 2,500. So this time I know I'm solving for miles, and they gave me elevation. So the 2,500 is going to go in for E. 2,500. Notice I don't write the E. I just drop it and replace it with 2,500. And then I fill in the rest of my equation. M plus 11,000. And I'm going to be solving for M. This is a two-step equation. First I need to subtract 11,000 on both sides. 2,500 minus 11,000 is negative 8,500. Bring down what's left of my equation. Okay, now in order to get rid of the negative 500, I have to divide by negative 500 on both sides. Negative 8,500 divided by negative 500 is 17 miles. So in 17 miles, the plane would be at 2,500 feet elevation. Okay, so that ends homework for Friday. I hope you are ready to take the test on your own soon. Have a good weekend. Bye.